If you were to name the top 10 wine-producing countries in the world, I bet you wouldn't place China on the list. But perhaps you'd be surprised to learn it actually comes in at number 10. My name is Kimberly Buchanan, and I want to find out why the Chinese have started to enjoy grape wine like never before. I'm going to see how the Chinese wine industry is evolving, learn about what's driving this change, and find out what the future holds for wine in this country. I'm in a typical Chinese supermarket. A quarter of all the wine purchased in this country is actually purchased in stores just like this one. So I came here to find out what kind of brands are going to be here. They're almost all domestic Chinese wine. So it's a great starting point on this whole exploration of wine in this country to find out who's buying what and where it's purchased, where it's made, and how the Chinese consumer is being educated in the wine industry. In this supermarket, you could be forgiven for thinking that the Chinese have always loved wine, but it hasn't always been this way, and wine education is an important part of the growing industry here. So I'm here in the middle of Beijing right now, and I heard in this building that I can actually go in and make wine. The experience of the wine culture here is a first. This is a place, gonna check it out. I'm looking for Miss Chung.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Welcome.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
From CCTV.
Karen Chen. Nice to
Nice to meet you. This is fantastic.
We call it Vineyard Wine Experience because we are vineyard in the CBD area of Beijing, and we also provide a wine experience to everyone, from the wine tasting, wine education, to winemaking as well.
Right, and you sell wine in here as well.
Yes.
And so you also do wine bottling here, so you can actually come here and make your own wine.
Yes, that's. I think we are the unique one, the only one in Beijing.
So they have two different labels. And I love this cartoon one. That's so much fun. Those are great. And how? So now we're going to actually put together and bottle the wine that they're having for their wedding. And they kindly invited me to partake and be part of this. So let's see. So right now, this couple is getting married in just about a month, and they've come in, so the fermentation's already happened with the grape juice, and now they're bottling and labeling the wines that they're going to serve at their wedding and also give it away as gifts. We're going to try their wine. Cheers. 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 Thank you, and I wish you the best for your wedding. And so are you finding that there are so many people now just really interested in learning more about the wine industry?
Yes, more and more Chinese people, the young people, they would like to know more about wine.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think now wine is becoming so popular?
I think because there are several reasons. Maybe one is now Chinese people are more and more richer, and they know more about the world outside the Western countries. They see people drink wines on the movies, and they want to try.
It's a lot about experiencing wine. Mm-hmm. It seems that the Chinese culture is taking on wine and not just drinking it, but it's actually enjoying it and embracing it in a bigger way.
People need education. They want to know how to appreciate wine, how to enjoy wine, what kind of wine varieties, what kind of characters.
My next stop was a wine tasting event hosted by Vinny Portugal, one of the many national trade bodies trying to break into the lucrative Chinese market. I'd come here to meet one of China's foremost wine experts, Mr. Lau, founder and chief editor of Wine Now. So, Mr. Lau, what would you say is the present state of the Chinese wine industry?
In many states, we have to talk about, about the production. It produces a lot of wine, quantity, but of course we know a lot of so-called Chinese wine are blended with imported bulk wine, because there's just not enough wine produced in China. So the market is so big that they have to import some bulk wine from other country and blend it. There are now more and more smaller wineries, but growing grapes in China is very difficult because it's so cold in winter. If in the south it's so wet, it's too wet in summer, so you cannot make wine south of the Yellow River. So it must be in the north, and then in the north it will be too cold. So they have to bury the wines, and so it's a really hard to push down the bunches and then bury. I think one day we will have very, very good authentic Chinese wine.
After hearing Mr. Lau talk about some of the smaller, privately owned wineries, I decided to visit Chateau Bolenbao, near Beijing, to see for myself what a small-scale Chinese vineyard was like. We were shown around by the executive director of the vineyard, Mr. Jia.
这公司呢成立是1999年，然后呢我们大概是在这做了11年。
And now you're an organic winery. So, I mean, obviously it's a much more complex concept and business to have an organic business. So why not just be a regular winery? Why choosing to be organic?
因为那个中国有一个哲学家叫老子，
老子？
崇尚自然。然后呢，有机呢就是一种自然的状态 ，nature 的一种状态，所以我们选择呢这种有机是一种生活方式，也是一种做人的方式。您知道，喜欢红酒，你也喜欢红酒。喜欢红酒的人知道，红酒的最根本的文化是 Thanksgiving and sharing， 所以我们首先要感谢这个苍天大地，所以我们要把这个绿化做得更好。
I really find that philosophy wonderful, that you are taking so much more into perspective than just business, that it's actually caring about the environment and caring about what you're creating here. And it is so much more about a lifestyle. It's not just a product. I found it interesting that there were companies such as Chateau Bolenbao that were concentrating on quality over volume. Did this show that the Chinese wine market was maturing?
I confess only in only 6 months.
I mean, especially for a young wine. Very young wine. Now, can you tell me what you see for the future and what are the challenges facing the Chinese wine industry?
我想，未来中国最大的挑战就是随着这个 WTO 的加入，市场的开放，国外的酒进来的越来越多。然后呢，中国呢本身在葡萄酒行业当中呢没有自我的一种标准来进行规范，这是一个对中国来说呢国产酒的是最大的一个挑战，这是第一点。第二点呢，中国的饮酒文化。 那么每年呢，中国的饮用白酒的人数呢，白酒的吨数呢大概500万吨，然后呢，那个红酒呢不到100万吨。那么也许随着数字不断的增长，中国可能逐步淘汰会这个饮用白酒的人数，就饮用白酒的吨数。那么我想这是中国市场还是巨大的，但是挑战也是很多的。由于国内的种植不够的规范化，光在于酿造，而且呢就是同质化的现象非常严重。 就是同一口味同质化的现象非常严重，我想这是主要的未来的挑战。
After being shown around the winery by Mr. Jia, I caught up with the owner's nephew, a young man named Johnson, to find out a little more. How did your family get into this wine industry?
Oh, I must say, my uncle, he lived in France for many years, and he's a successful man. So most of his friends, they are French, and they like wine very much. But when they stay together and they talk about wine, but there are no Chinese wine in their table. So my uncle think it's a little embarrassed maybe, because China is a big country. China is a big country, and we have a lot of ground. We have different kind of people. We have different kind of grapes. But why we can't just make some good wine? So for that reason, he decided to begin this company. He want to make the best wine of China and the best wine of the world from China. But I think it still have some problem. Chinese prefer baijiu or Chinese alcohol better than the wine. So I think we need to do something. We made a organic winery, and we should ask them to come to our winery to take a look and get some experience of a real winery. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Yeah, welcome to our winery.
Thank you. After visiting a small boutique winery, I wanted to see the other end of the spectrum. So I visited Chateau Changyu, AFIP, owned by the oldest and largest wine company in China. It's like a small part of France, just an hour away from Beijing. I'd come here to meet the assistant manager, Maria Ma.
I will take you to the car and show you around our chateau.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. So is this the way you get around the entire chateau?
Yes, that's how we get started when people come into our chateau. So our trip really starts now.
Oh, and there's a big map.
Yes, do you want to take a look over there?
So you'll show me
Yes.
the map of the entire chateau.
It basically showed our chateau. So
here.
this is where we are now.
Oh, perfect.
It's a reception building.
Mm-hmm.
So you go along the trail over here, and to the top over there, there is a big chateau at the top. So that's our production, where our production plant is.
And now we're going up to see the main chateau, as well as there's a whole European town that's been created here. So what kind of things are in this town?
So we have a church over there, we have post office, we have stores, we have hotels, restaurants, also recreation centers. If you like, you can also enjoy a spa.
So basically you've created here not just a wine tasting experience, but an overall spa recreational experience.
Like a resort theme park. So the theme is about grape and wines. We're coming in, everything you do, everything you look, everything you taste is about grape and wines.
It's beautiful. I mean, we're just arriving now at the chateau, and you would swear we could be in the middle of France. It's beautifully done. This is pretty incredible. They've done a remarkable job. Like everything in China, it's on a massive scale. And here we are, and we're going to go in and experience the chateau. Chateau Changyu and their partners are betting big on the future of wine here in China. In this chateau alone, they have invested over 500 million RMB. So now, these are all the different chateaus you have all throughout China?
Yes, this is the first chateau in China. It's called Chateau Changyu Castel. It's in Yantai. Yantai is an international wine city. It's the only one in Asia.
So you're trying to expand the knowledge of wine here in China.
Actually, we are now building 3 other chateaux in China too. They are in Xinjiang, Ningxia, and Xi'an as well. We're just building them, and I think they will be open next year.
And so education is a big component of what you do.
Right, and the experience. First, you come in and experience and taste, and we educate them, and they get knowledge of it. When they go back, when they choose wines, they want to choose the best wine for them. So, Kimberly, I will take you down to the corner of our chateau, the underground cellar, to take a look.
So can you tell me about this now? I mean, what are these bottles here?
But some of them are already matured for people who have already rented this private cellar. They store the wines in his cellar.
And so it's all different corporations and individuals that rent these spaces?
This rented by ambassadors.
Oh, ambassadors?
From Italy and some other countries.
Oh yeah, there's one from Finland. That's great. After an amazing day at Chateau Changyu AFIP, Maria suggested that we visit their headquarters in Yantai, Shandong Province. the birthplace of the modern Chinese wine industry over 100 years ago. I'm here in Yantai, in the heart of China's wine industry. These are the famous gates of Changyu, the oldest winery in all of China. They have a great museum. I'm going to go check it out. So I'm inside the museum now, and as you can hear, it's a cacophony of noise. There's tour group after tour group going through here. The consumer in China is fascinated in wine, and they're checking everything out here. Chateau Changyu, in retail terms, is the 7th largest wine company in the whole world. And their strategy is to create a unique wine experience to draw in the consumer. At the end of the tour, everyone goes into the famous cellars for a tasting of Changyu's wine. So this is the end of the tour, and this is what really matters. It's tasting time. Obviously, wine is an acquired taste and not for everyone, but the Chinese wine market is changing. Just down the road in the Shandong countryside is somewhere where the taste for wine has been well and truly acquired. Chateau Zhengding is a high-end winery in complete control of their own grape production, something that is quite rare in the Chinese wine industry. They are striving to become the leading quality brand in all of China. Wow, this is just incredible. Enter the Chateau Zhengding, which is a boutique winery. It's all about fine wines and an elegant experience. I'm going to go in and just see what it's all about. I've come to meet Mr. Yang, the manager of the adjoining golf course, an integral part of the Chateau Zhengding experience. Chateau Zhengding's whole strategy is to position themselves as a leader in their field. They want to emulate the grand chateaus of Europe.
亚洲可能就是我们一家，因为我们这个项目是独特的，有非常独特的这个特点。 包括这个君丁酒庄的地理位置和气候条件，和当地能够生产这种优质葡萄的这个地质环境，这个得天独厚的这个环境呢是很难复制的。就是说，其他地方如果做同样的项目呢，恐怕跟我们这样的项目能够重复的可能性不是很多，因此说我们这个项目是得天独厚的，是比较稀少的项目。 就是说，现在呢，这个，喝葡萄酒的人越来越多。那么，葡萄酒加高尔夫呢，代表了现在中国人生活的一种时尚，那么也代表一种生活的品味。追求这种时尚生活的品味的人呢是越来越多，所以说这也是一种趋势，这也是我们一个这个项目的主要的一个发展的方向。
The booming wine industry has brought stability to the local farmers, who now rely on the grape crop as a steady earner. I met a local farming couple and asked them what it was like working at the chateau.
啥不用掏钱，到时候你搞大约，你那个管啥不用管，都是就运地打头，你什么时候大约告诉就行了。
You've been farmers your whole life. Has this made your life better?
啊，这会儿可好啊，比那个种庄稼强，收益不少。 种庄稼，你看自己种又是这样那样的，哎呀，受理管理，这个你也省事。
这都属于高消，这啥都是高消费。
啊，
这他那你有钱嘛？这个玩意儿就说你有钱出来享受嘛，是吧？
你吃一顿饭得多少钱呢？这老些钱呢。
相对来讲，这葡萄酒要是说喝葡萄酒，这相对来讲，他家这个价格都太高了，也都属于高消费。
Too expensive, too expensive. 对。
高消费。你现在你国家你开放改革，你这块来讲，就说他谁有钱谁享受的，谁有本事谁挣钱呢？你这玩意你有钱了你不享受干啥？
对呀。
哎呀，头一年他给2瓶，给2瓶不好喝，
不好喝，
发苦，他不能咱喝不来。
就他不适应，他不适应，不太适应喝这个。
It was hard leaving Chateau Junding, but I had an important appointment with the president of the company back at their headquarters in Yantai. While visiting the winery, I'd heard about the company's interesting research and development plans, and I wanted to find out more.
我始终相信，这个我们要建设一个让人真正的酒庄，能生产出好的一瓶葡萄酒，所以我们必须有很多的投入，其中包括对葡萄酒本身的研发。一般的研发，任何企业都可以完成，但是我们把研发的重点放在了葡萄原料的研发，放在了葡萄品种的研发方面。这一点来讲，我们感到非常的自豪。说酒精庄，我们现在有很多在中国从来没有的品种，已经在这片土地上生长的非常的非常的好。
On my return to Beijing, I just couldn't resist popping into one last vineyard I've been told I simply shouldn't miss.
Great, thank you.
Very original in the Chinese countryside.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So this is the Scottish Castle at Treaty Port Vineyard, and it was started in 2004 by Chris Ruffle, who lives full-time in Shanghai but is originally from Scotland.
Okay. Makes sense.
Well, from there it only gets slightly stranger. One of his hobbies is building castles, and so Chris, whilst he was travelling around China looking for things to invest in, heard about a magical place where wine would just grow quickly out of the ground if you just threw a grape on the floor, and that was Shandong. And so he came here, saw something he liked, and then bought it. And so 6 years on, we've finally got our castle built and our vineyards ready to go for our first commercial vintage, so it's all very exciting.
So is this all of this? This was something else. Who would have thought? A Scottish castle in the Chinese countryside.
21 hectares.
Okay.
And this is my favourite room. It's our little slice of Scotland. This is the library.
Look at the walls. That is fabulous.
The main section of the winery here. And we're standing by all of our giant fermentation vats. These are only used in red winemaking.
This really is James Bond. It's so much fun. I know, it's so much fun. A billionaire from Scotland owning a castle winery in China. It seemed as though everyone wanted a piece of the Chinese market, but I wondered what it would take for Chinese wine to get recognized internationally. I caught up with French winemaker Alain Leroux and asked him if there was a system of appellation in China, a set of regulations to identify where a particular wine is produced.
We haven't got that origin. Yes, you can make, if you make the wine in Xinjiang, for example, the people who want to promote Xinjiang wine, they will put made in Xinjiang and everything like that. But if you check on labels in China, all the wine, it's just a right Chinese wine. That's it. You don't know where come from the wine. For example, if they blend with 50% foreign wine, they just can put Chinese wine.
So for Chinese wine to become more globally accepted, regionalization and appellation and some kind of standards are so much more important to establish. How would you, from your perspective, go about or advise the Chinese government in creating such standards?
I've nothing to tell them because
a big mountain.
Yes, it will be. If they want to get maybe some advice, I could do. I think first they need to choose a good area, and in this area try to make a regulation of the vineyard, and after make also some regulation of how to make the wine. Cannot use this kind of chemical product to make wine or something like that. Begin by a small area. In that case, you can make appellation, and you can provide and sell with the appellation, for example, I don't know, Ningxia, Provence, and so on. It's a political decision. They need to create a regulation for the vineyard in China.
Having visited many Chinese wineries, as well as speaking with experts, I can see a very bright future for the Chinese wine industry. If the industry can come together with the government to create controls and standards, then there's no reason why Chinese wine can't compete in the global market. And who knows, even dominate the world. Cheers.